Live from New York. It's a show that's counting down to the World Series.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Can't
thinking
wait.
about their walk-up songs, check out our social media page.
Great job by Gianna today.
Maybe.
That was a great
We think we're going to have some copyright infringement.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be
It's going to be
great.
a social media post that costs us $80,000. But check it out.
Knicks is a real joyous song.
I
It
love
is.
yours.
It would
Thank
make
you.
you laugh if you saw a player
it would
come
be
out with
outrageous.
that.
I love it.
But
Mine's tough.
yeah.
What is? I don't know.
Tell them yours, and then they can look
Wild
at.
Out by the Locks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
And
That's
save me and Bruce. You got to go to our TikTok, right,
Yeah,
Gianna?
go to
you got
the
to go to our
TikTok.
TikTok to find it.
Yep, that's fantastic. Oh, I'm
Nick
Sora
likes
with
to
me
dance.
coming up.
That's a hint.
A Sora?
Boom. Yeah. Like Jadakiss right next to me.
What's this?
First hour. First
AI
things
video?
first. Today, Wemby Wows was Brew right all along about his GOAT potential. Meanwhile, 29 hours away from the World Series, Commissioner Manfred joins us. Also, Dodgers must win, perhaps. And finally, well, it's the most motivational segment of all sports. It needs no introduction. It's the Bud List. Alongside Nick Wright, I'm Kevin Wilds. Brew, anybody on the bubble of the Bud List?
Yeah.
No, really? Like,
Yeah.
Who?
I mean, just a few guys.
you guys?
Few guys. All that matters is the three that made it.
I know, but was there anyone just like
There's a few guys hovering around there. Aaron Rodgers,
Rodgers didn't make it.
Josh Allen.
Wow.
There are a couple guys
are good.
hovering
That's
around.
Good, excellent. Okay.
How about that?
I don't think that's
After
true.
last night, maybe AD, Anthony Davis.
Oh, man.
I didn't put him on there.
That
but
would be interesting. A stunning game from Wembanyama is what we're starting with. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 2 dozen I can't believe what I'm watching comments from me on my couch. Spurs win easily. Here's Wemby postgame.
The reaction around the country tonight, people watching on TV, is wow, Wemby added all this to his game. He's unstoppable now.
Okay.
Did it feel like that to you, that you've added something new and you were showing
Yeah.
the world something different?
Of course. Of course. It was also, we needed to make a statement in our locker room, I felt like I needed to make a statement to my teammates. But, it's also just the beginning, because there's so much more I want to add to my game, but some things take time.
Yeah.
Okay, Brew, this would have been an insane question if we asked it 24 hours ago. Today, it feels like the question, is Wemby already the best player in the world?
The reporter in me, and I covered the league for almost 30 years, wants to rightly be like, it's one game. I know he's played, a year and a half or whatever it was.
But not
it's
even a year and a half
right,
because he
got hurt. One game, he obviously was phenomenal, but what's he going to be like in the playoffs? And then you would think, he'll be great. I never would have thought James Harden wouldn't have been great in the playoffs. I would have never thought Tracy McGrady would never win a playoff series. Now, McGrady was great individually, but never won a playoff series, even with Yao Ming. So you obviously accomplishments are kind of a part of this.
Sure.
So let's see what he does on the biggest stage, playoffs, finals, things like that. But in a vacuum, just kind of removing the accomplishments, and I'm serious, yes.
wow.
I think I've said Jokic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and Jokic is obviously a better passer, a better playmaker, smart, maybe the smartest guy in the league, him, LeBron, whatever. So he's got that over Wemby. Wemby is the best defensive player in the league by a mile.
By a lot.
Like last night, the Mavericks, who are known as a tough inside team with Davis and a few other guys, they had 26 points in the paint. Last year, in 1,230 NBA games, only 28 of those games did a team have 26 or fewer points in the paint. That's 2%. That was Wemby. That was like, if you come in, he's rejecting it, and now he's, I don't want to say scaring you, but he's deterring guys from going up at the rim
I
or in the
want that
paint.
stat, by the way. And maybe I'm not on the right NBA threads to see it. But I don't really care about his block shots as much as shots that would have been taken against if any other human being alive was standing there.
He also only played 30 minutes.
Right. It feels like he's just dissuades so many attempts.
So
go ahead.
I mean, I don't know, is Jokic, who actually has good numbers defensively as far as the analytics, is he 40% of the defensive player that Wemby is? Whatever. Yeah. So Wemby is obviously more athletic. Bring me Giannis. Wemby's a better defender at this point, obviously a better handle, and can shoot. So you can actually go to Wemby at the end of a game and get a shot. You can't do that with Giannis unless you're just going to post him and turn around and shoot or whatever. Jokic, I hesitate to say it, but I'm just saying in a vacuum, like he can do everything. He is the first, I believe, 7+ footer with moves. Like, he's got moves. Kevin Durant is obviously great. Let's say he's a 7-footer. He's a great jump shooter, has handle, can go off the dribble. Wemby is making moves. He's spinning. Yeah. He's up and under. He's like, it looks like, you see, we had Olajuwon on yesterday. Wemby worked with him. You could kind of see what Wemby learned from, look at this. That's like a dude 6 feet tall doing that.
That was insane. I don't understand it. I didn't understand what I was saying. And he cut the threes out.
Which was and he's still a decent three-point shooter, but he took two.
He took two. One of them we just showed. Exactly right. So, and again, all of this is caveated by it's literally one game.
Yes.
But here is, you and I, our minds were in a similar place. He reminded everyone he's the best defender in the league by a mile. Mm-hmm. So, if you are demonstrably the best defender in the league, how good do you have to be offensively to be the best player? Like, if you are, not just because we had Dream on yesterday, right? But that year and a half, Jordan was gone. In my opinion, Dream was the best player in basketball.
Pretty much everybody's opinion. Yeah.
Nobody thought he was the best offensive player in the sport any of those years. But he was like 6th best or 5th best, something like that, offensive player, and clearly the best defensive player. If Wemby averages 25 a game with that level of defense, does that make him the best player in the league? And here is the other reason I don't think we're overreacting.
So are you saying yes too?
I don't think I have the ability to say those words because I'm so against the idea that you can become the best player alive with no accomplishments. Yeah. And so it's hard for me. It goes against what, like you said as a journalist, just for me, the way I've always done it. And that is a title that is earned in the postseason. And those things.
That's all true.
And so, but here's the other jarring piece of it. If you were to say to me before yesterday, hey, random team X is playing the Spurs, and they can add any one player from across the league to their roster with the sole goal of being slow down Wemby.
Yes.
My number one pick for that would have been Anthony Davis. They're about to play I forget who they play next, and then it's the Nets, and then it's the Raptors. Their next game, it's a team, I can't remember. I looked at it this morning. The Pelicans. It's Pelicans, who's basically start everyone sick, except for Missy is 6'8" or shorter. Mm. Then it's the Nets, who are an expansion team. And then it's the Raptors, I believe. If he did this to Anthony Davis, then what does he do to a team that their weakness is big man defense?
Yeah, there are several teams like that.
And the Mavs, it's their strength. Again, is there someone other than AD that is better equipped in theory to slow him down?
Giannis.
Maybe.
I'm not saying Giannis because I would say Giannis would be my pick, but AD
would be certainly one of the first people you mentioned.
40 points in 29 and a half minutes against Anthony Davis, arguably the best big man defender in the league.
Correct.
And Derek Lively is a young up-and-coming great defender.
Who looks small.
Yes, he abused them. With all due respect to AD, he abused them. Every which way. In the post, I'm going by you. I'm shaking you up. I'm shooting over you. I mean, this was bizarre.
It was a revelation.
Can I give you an out? Because you want to say it too. I know you're.
And I hear you. Look, if Wemby gets to the playoffs year after year and fizzles,
sure,
then we'll be. You can't be the best player in the world struggling in the playoffs. But in a vacuum, I mean.
I get that it was one game, so I'll open up the vacuum just a little bit. Since he was hurt, and we're like, uh-oh. I mean, part of us was thinking, like, is this a career jeopardizing?
Yeah, because it wasn't an injury as much as it was an ailment.
Condition.
Yeah, blood clot.
Yeah.
It felt like, and maybe it's not connected, he attacked the offseason with, I'm going to be stronger.
Yes.
And he showed that he was stronger. I'm going to be, let's say, smarter or more mature. And he went to hang out in a monastery for weeks. And not as a PR thing or, hey, we're doing an Instagram thing. Sorry, Gianna. Like, this was just like a private, I'm going to become a monk and get focused. And then we talked to Akeem yesterday. He was hanging out with Akeem. He had sort of new moves. So to me, this felt like the latest chapter in something that I had read the book and I was waiting for it. And he came out and delivered. And when we did the predictions yesterday, I actually was a little surprised.
How low our points were?
A little bit. But maybe that's the AD
I did not
factor.
think that he was going to have this fine-tuned of an offensive game. And people, if they're watching this, like, oh, you didn't see this coming, you didn't watch him last year. Man, I watched him. He was the best defender in the league with a pretty bad shot diet.
He let defenses off the hook.
All the time. And now he is stronger. And this is, and I know this is where you eventually also want to go with it, Brew. The other piece of it is this. If he is going to be one of the legends, then they can contend this year.
Yes.
So I just want to, the best, I know you don't like when we go super historic.
No.
So I'm not including Kareem, Russell, or Wilt. The three best big men of the last 30 years, Shaq, Duncan, and Dream. Their age 22 season. Wemby turns 22 January 4th. They all were top 4 MVP. They all were first or second team at All-NBA, and they all went to the finals.
Well, in fairness, though,
Dream had a better team.
Dream had Ralph Sampson healthy. Shaq had Penny, and Duncan had David Robinson.
Yesterday.
No, and so correct. Well, it's not like he needs to do this to prove it. My point is, those are three of the at worst 12 greatest players ever.
It's doable.
And they, even if we remove the finals part of it, the MVP finish and the All-NBA, that's where that should be the company with which he's keeping.
Well, I'll say this then. And first of all, to your point, Wemby said after the game, he did say, like, what he went through, kind of, he's not taking anything for granted. Like, so that's kind of that dog. I thought he had the dog in him anyway, but you saw some of that last night and I guess in the offseason. Their ceiling, I'm not saying I'm picking them to reach the finals. That's their ceiling, though. Like, they could have beaten Dallas by 50. Wemby was plus 31 in 29 minutes. Like, when he was on the court, it wasn't a game. It wasn't close. And that Dallas team, nobody's picking them to win the West, but it's a pretty talented team, a pretty good team. They're big. They're supposed to have a bunch of great defenders, and he just went right through them. Stephon Castle, to your point, definitely looks like he's got all-star potential. Mm-hmm. Right? And then they don't have great shooting. Harrison Barnes can shoot. They need Julian Champagnie. They need him to hit J's. Hit threes, but those guys are athletic. They can defend. They can all get to the hole. The plethora of point guards they have. They didn't even have De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
If those guys play their role and understand he's the guy, he makes everything easier for us, and he's not ball dominant. That's the thing too. Many of our greatest players now have been ball dominant. He is not. So you will get yours. They can win the West. Again, I'm not predicting. They can win the West. You can't say they're young. They're older than OKC.
Well, let me add one other piece to it. They also signed Fox not knowing they're going to get the second pick of the draft, which means they also have, if he doesn't have to keep up 40 points a game. But if at the 25-game mark, the general consensus is he is at, a top 3 player in the league, or general consensus he's the best player in the league, they still have all the ammo to make a move.
Yes.
Like to be like, oh, we can add our version of Ralph Sampson or
a shooter.
You can get there.
Oh, the Giannis? If they were to add,
it's the LeBron stuff. It's the Giannis stuff. It's like,
I mean, Giannis would be. I can't even fathom.
Yeah,
Giannis,
it would feel. They
would hold teams
right
to 35 points.
And so my point is, they just have the ammo.
Yeah,
and they have the ammo, and they have an extra point guard. Because they didn't.
Do you
expect...
agree as they are? And I'm not predicting them to win the West. I'm just saying they're in the mix now.
If you
they
have
could win the West, I would not be surprised.
It's the same argument that I made 3 years ago for Dallas. If you have a clear-cut, unequivocal top 3 player in the league, you can make the finals any year.
Yep.
That's just how. Yep. That is the thing about the NBA that is over the course of 75 years true. If you have in their prime or even pre-prime, as long as it's not one of the guys who some people would say is the best player alive, like the Bucks with Giannis, the Mavs or now Lakers with Luka, Joker, you're in the mix. Mm-hmm. And if Wemby is already that guy, you're in the mix.
Sets franchise record for points previously held by anyone?
Hold on. For which franchise record?
Spurs.
No, buddy.
For season debut.
Oh, okay. For season debut.
George Gervin.
Correct. 1977.
Well done.
Franchise record for points?
Franchise record for points for the Spurs, definitely.
It's got to be Gervin.
I think it's David Robinson when he had
in a
one.
Game?
I thought you were talking about career. For career, it's Duncan. For game, it's Robinson.
Yeah. I can't do trivia anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Gervin hits.
Okay. Here we go. If you're looking to play ping pong, toss a few bags of cornhole, maybe get in a quick session of Super Smash Bros. Well, don't go to the Ravens locker room. All that stuff is gone. Luckily, this guy's back. Lamar practiced again today, Brew. Here's Harbaugh on the recent article about the Ravens locker room, which is now a fun-free zone.
The stuff was taken out of the locker room. I was informed of it after it was gone by the equipment guy, and that the players, a couple of veteran players got together and decided they wanted to take that stuff out. So my pinball machine that I had gifted the guys 2 years ago at Christmas, I don't know where it's at right now.
Kind of messed up. Brew, do you like to hear this? The pinball machine got. We didn't even get reported about the
pinball machine. Yeah.
Well, look, you remember when my rant a couple days ago. At the end, Nick, I said I love the move by Harbaugh. Like I thought, he knows I can't go in there yelling and screaming. Let me, but he did it this way. Let me get rid of the toys and they'll know I mean business. If I go in there yelling and screaming, I'm out of my personality, then I go receive it. Right. And so I thought it was ingenious to know, though, now that he had nothing to do with it, that the players didn't even consult him. So where's the respect? Where's the leadership? I mean, they just did it regardless of him. Yeah. So I don't like that at all.
Oh, you don't?
I am head over heels in love with it. Are you kidding me? We are so back. I mean, the players did it. Greg sat on here talking about the players gonna be upset. The players ain't gonna like this. The players did it. This is even better than I thought. The veterans. They said this is not Ravens football. We are not here to play Miss Pac-Man and Uno and ping pong. We are here to win football games. I love this. It is on. It is so on.
I gotta tell you, KW, I don't know
the setup
if we can
y'all laughing. Our brother is serious.
Hold on. Here's the thing about the setup. I have to tell you, I don't know if we can put on the internet my solo cam. The moment Bruce started, I saw where that train was going.
I didn't see it.
And I couldn't stop smiling so much I had to look down because I wanted to distract Brew. And you,
I
on
didn't
the
want to
other
laugh
hand,
when he
were
was- I
already
tried to-
He's like, it's disrespectful. The heart wanted to take his
I
pinball
got you
machine
again.
out.
I got you again.
You get him every time.
Nick just assumes I'm going
Yeah,
there.
I know you too well, Brew.
gosh.
With that said, while that was a brilliant performance as always by Brew, I totally disagree with you.
Oh, no.
What?
Not
you
that
agree with my beginning
No,
take.
but no. What I think is this. I think the Ravens are a mess. That's what I think, and I think that we are. It is in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
If the Ravens are 6-9 and the season is over, and we're doing a autopsy of what went wrong, we are going to have a laundry list of reasons we all should have been like, oh yeah, obviously, that team is all messed up. And one of them is this saga about the toys in the locker room that to the point that, to Wilds' point, that I know Brew has kind of glossed over.
Yeah.
Right after this brilliant move by team leadership, they played their single worst game of the year.
It's just a weathering period.
But they tell the whole story.
And then the next
without their best player.
Correct, of course. But that Lamar doesn't. Maybe he could help him. He doesn't play in the secondary. They allowed 44 to 3?
44, yeah.
44 to 3 to
Or
attack.
44.
Was it? Okay, no, it was 3 the next week. Whatever it was, I don't remember. But to a Texans team that can't score on anyone.
Yeah.
And then the next week, their offense scored 3 points.
But tell the next week everybody's all American.
They beat them
and that
soundly.
high power. That's fine, but they only scored 17 points.
Brew, I had Josh break out the graphic that we've mentioned a few times, so Josh had to go back into his files and dust it off. This is what we're hoping happens. That you always
That's
talk
from
about.
last week.
Yes. Now, the flaw in this, obviously, is we don't have a clever tagline on whatever happened in Week 10. But we forgot about this storyline. Do you remember they brought in...
If you're going to try to steal one of my catchphrases.
No, I'm not. I don't have it. I don't have it. Remember they brought in Dean Pease, and that was
Yeah.
one
Yes.
of the things to like, all right, let's augment the defense. He's not there. I don't know if he's not available or whatever. But that was kind of like, let's bring in Dean Pease, and they'll shift a little bit. So it was kind of like, the two heads are better than one on the defense. But if it's just still Zach Orr, I don't know what's going to shift. Maybe they'll just
Can
round
I
into
ask
form.
one?
I am banking, and I get it. I'm banking on I'm not saying they're going to be this great defense, but I'm banking on what they did against the Rams. Because that was, I get taking the other 5 games ahead of that one. But that I fully, you guys know this, I fully expected the Rams to put like 35 on them at least.
So can I ask you a question then in that regard before we move on? What will your confidence level be if, with Lamar back, they beat Chicago 38-35? And
That's a good
Caleb
question.
looks awesome.
That's a good question.
If they get a win and it's like the Ravens offense back,
Stop the
but
bleeding.
the defense is
It's
what it has
insane.
been every week except for the Rams game.
I will have confidence they can still make the playoffs, okay? But I would hold out hope that we're going to see what we saw last year where the defense does improve.
But it would be disconcerting to you.
Yeah, because, that team would not be able to win a Super Bowl if I don't care how great Lamar is, if your defense is giving up those
That
type
many
of points,
points.
yeah.
So
the defense needs to look
So
good.
you need, right. So for you to feel good, and I'm not trying to box you in.
Right.
I'm really just asking. For you to feel good about Baltimore next week, it's Lamar's back and the defense looks good in a win.
Yeah,
Even
look,
because you're not going to worry
a
if the
win will bring joy to my heart.
Yes, but to feel-
and I will feel like, okay, they can still win that division.
Yes.
But remember, they are supposed to compete for the Super Bowl.
But you would feel way
I would feel
better
like them.
about a 10-7 win where Lamar looks awful because he's rusty
yeah.
than you would a 38-35 win where Lamar looks great. That's what I thought, and I actually think that's smart. I agree
Take a
with that.
100-99 win. Just take. At this point, you need W's.
Take it, but
You need W's badly. Coming up next, World Series is tomorrow. And up next, Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred will be in studio. That's next on FS1 and the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM.
Brew, you should try to get the commissioner with a misdirection. I don't like this World Series match. I love it.
Hey, welcome back to First Things First. Tomorrow, World Series begins on Fox as Ohtani and the reigning champion Dodgers take on Vladdy Jr. and the Blue Jays. Game 1 of the World Series. Coverage begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern on Fox. Coverage now in studio, Commissioner Rob Manfred. Commissioner, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on what looks to be a wonderful World Series.
Yeah, we're really excited about the World Series. We've had a great playoff run-up. 2 really good teams, real international flavor to it, so we're excited about it.
So I want to dig in on the international flavor of everything. First 2-country World Series since 1993, and then I saw there are 13 international-born players: Canada, Cuba, DR, Mexico, Venezuela, Japan, of course.
Right.
Can you talk about how the game has grown globally, and this just feels like a true World Series?
Well, you know, it always starts with players, right? And we've been fortunate to get players from around the world: Korea, Japan, Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. But we've made a huge effort in recent years to take the game to other countries. Opened in Korea, opened again in Tokyo. We've played in London. We've been to Mexico multiple times. And that's how you build an international audience. And for us, the investment has really paid off in terms of viewing audiences. Really paid off.
one of those players internationally, of course, Shohei Ohtani. Did he just play the greatest baseball game ever?
Yeah, it was some baseball game, I have to tell you. I think that when you think about Ohtani, the 2 words that always come to the top of my mind is two-way, right? You know, some people have hit 3 home runs in postseason games, Reggie Jackson being the best example. But, you know, to pitch like he pitched and hit 3 home runs at the same time, I just can't imagine somebody else doing it. Now, hopefully, he won't turn out to be a unicorn. Maybe we'll have another one someday. Cool. But he is a really special player.
Quickly along those lines, and because I've asked, ever since he got in the league, I've asked ex-players or current players do you see that maybe for a few players at least becoming something they can do? Because it's not unusual at the high school level to have a great pitcher who also is a phenomenal hitter, but then they get directed into one or the other. Do you think that he could change that?
You know, I think that when you see a player like this who accomplishes these things, he clearly provides an advantage when you think about it, right? I mean, he's an offensive player and a pitcher at the same time. That people will be more open to the idea that this is possible. I think the limiting factor, like it always is in athletics, I mean, this guy is an unbelievable physical specimen. I mean, his physical tools are so impressive.
So, Commissioner, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and they're obviously a dynasty, and I love it, but I'm a Chiefs fan. Some people are more fans of parity. I think dynasties are what across sports has always driven the most interest. You're rooting for it or rooting against it. So I guess it's a 2-part question. One is, in your opinion, if the Dodgers win, are they a dynasty? And your feelings on dynasties in your sport.
Yeah, I think we're only talking about are the Dodgers a dynasty because we have gone so long without a repeat winner.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I don't think 2 does a dynasty make, not for me. Look, I think really good teams, and the Dodgers are an extraordinarily good team that win multiple times, kind of can cut both ways. On the one hand, it drives interest because it creates, the David versus Goliath kind of matchup. On the other hand, when it appears to fans that one team is out there by themselves, particularly in a game like ours where we play every day, we got to fill the seats every day, that can become a problem too. So it really does cut both ways, I think.
I want to show you a video that blew my mind. After the Dodgers clinch the ALCS, they have, the party in the locker room. And then we saw this video of the Dodgers locker room.
The Blue Jays.
Oh, excuse me, the Blue Jays locker room. Excuse me, the Blue Jays. And it looks like a real nightclub. There's a lighting designer. There is someone in charge of smoke. There is a DJ. What do you? So this is to get to the World Series. You're headed up to Toronto. I don't know if this would be the atmosphere for Game 1, but what are you expecting the Game 1
Well, let me say a
atmosphere
couple things about this. We definitely have an escalation problem in terms of celebration. I mean,
Right, what you gonna do?
What's in that disco? I don't know.
If they win,
How many people are in there?
no, there's a doorman. You got bracelets.
We used to give the trophy in the clubhouse. Thank God we don't do that anymore because that would be a mess. But look, the atmosphere in Toronto has been unbelievable. A long-time baseball person, good friend of mine, was there for Game 7 and called and said, I've been going to baseball games live for 50 years, literally. He said, I have never seen atmosphere.
It came through the screen. It felt electric.
It was just absolutely electric, and that's great. The nice thing that Toronto has done, they have really captured all of Canada in terms of their fan base. I was out in Western Canada in August, and I was astounded the number of Blue Jays hats that you saw. I mean, it's a long way from Western Canada, but a real national fan base, and that's great for our sport.
Well, along those lines, for me, in my lifetime growing up, maybe the most notable ball player for a Canadian team, his team no longer exists, but Montreal Expo, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., who was, as a kid, it just seemed so fun to watch him because he felt like he played the game differently than everyone. The ball could bounce, and he would still try to hit it for a home run. His son is electric in a very different way. Very different body type, very different player, but just won ALCS MVP. We see this now across all sports, but baseball, of course, as well, where some of the greatest players are either sons, nephews, brothers of other great players. How cool is that for you as the commissioner and in watching what Vlad has done this year and, the family history?
I think if you go back and count and really look at it, we have more father-son, multiple generation occurrences than any other sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing about baseball. It's something we're really proud of. It makes for great storylines. I think during the Fox broadcast, they showed a lot of pictures of Vladdy Sr. and Jr. when he was just a kid, really. And, it's heartwarming. Yeah. I mean, it's just a great story.
He also looks the exact same as a little kid.
Yeah.
And he's not Bo Bichette's father. Dante obviously was a great. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
Commissioner, you guys, I think, do have the best all-star game at this point, which pains me a little bit because I was a longtime NBA writer. But this year with the swing-off, that settled the score.
He loves the swing.
I loved it. Have you guys thought about doing that for the regular season?
Yeah, look, the swing-off was a huge hit. I mean, just a huge hit. Like everything, you got to kind of keep the fundamentals in mind. I think that probably what made it such a huge hit was the players were so into it, and it was just so exciting for them. They really engaged, and it was just a great moment all the way around. Look, obviously we've gone to the run around second base as an extra innings thing. I think of the changes, it's interesting, that has remained the most controversial. It's the one that you hear about the most that people are, negative on. So I'm not sure which way to take that negativity.
I was going to say, if they're going to be negative anyway, might as well make it real.
We can make them really negative.
In that light, this is a little off the board, but because one thing I really respect about what you guys have done the last half decade is say, hey, baseball history is important, the records are important, but we also need to evolve. We need to recognize that in a lot of parts of our life, the more like data and info and analytics have come into it, the worse the experience has gotten, so we need to adjust. Have you heard from people in similar positions to you across other sports about ways to balance, hey, listen, the numbers say you got to shoot 100 threes, but the audience says, yeah, I like seeing a diversity of play because you guys changed the rules to make the game more entertaining again. Is that like conversations across sports that you have?
I have to tell you, I love the way you frame that issue. And we do talk across sports. We have had outreach from other sports about, how'd you do it? Why'd you go about it? What were you thinking about? But the way you framed the question is really the most important point. We felt like the game had changed in a way that was negative in terms of the fan experience. 100%. And our polling of fans supported that idea. So when we went to sell the change through and thought about what changes we wanted to make, the goal was, let's put it back to the game that people grew up loving, that had a certain entertainment value to it. We have had, outreach from other sports, and, everybody's thinking about it. Because the fact of the matter is, sports are great, and baseball's great. Baseball was great 5 years ago, but the fact of the matter is that everything is changing so rapidly in our society. If you try to stay still, when all that change is going on around you, you're going to have problems. You have to try to think ahead and try to preserve what's really important to the fans.
So when you guys have that next conversation, if you wouldn't mind telling Commissioner Silver, make dunks worth 3 as well. It'll be fine. It fixed everything. I tell you all right now. You shake your head. Maybe people ban the shift. It was great. Make dunks worth 3. All of a sudden, we're not having nothing but 3s. I'm just saying it fixes things.
Commissioner, just quickly back to the Dodgers. Ohtani is obviously like the big international star. Right. I'm a big Mookie Betts guy. Is there anybody else that you have your eye on? Freddie obviously was the big star last World Series.
You took my answer away before I could. Look, I think in a lot of ways, Freddie is the heart of that team. He is the glue that holds them all together. Obviously, Mookie's a great player in his own right. They're blessed. I mean, they just got a lot of great players on that team. But I do think, the fact that Freddie played through what was a really tough set of injuries last year, kind of made him the heart of that team.
You know what I like too, just to shout out the Red Sox? If it's Blue Jays, Dodgers, right? But there's players from everywhere, not only internationally, but if you're a Red Sox fan, you can root for Dave Roberts. And hey, if you're a Yankees fan, Don Mattingly's on the Blue. Yeah. So it's just a fun way that history sort of showcases itself in the modern day World Series. Game 1, Friday. Coverage starts at 7 on Fox. Yep. It's going to be excellent. Commissioner, thank you very much. Looking forward to a great World Series.
Really nice to be here. Thank you.
More first things first after the break. Packers at Steelers. Aaron Rodgers revenge game? Not so fast. Not according to him. Take a listen.
Brett got traded, and then he went to one of the hated rivals. I was in New Jersey for a couple of years. I don't have any animosity toward the organization. Obviously, I wish that, things have been better in our last year there, but, I have a great relationship with a lot of people still in that organization. And this is not a revenge game for me. I'm just excited to see some of those guys and be on Sunday Night Football again.
Okay, it's not a revenge game for him, according to Aaron Rodgers. Do you believe that, Greg?
I do believe him.
Wow.
I do. This is the one time that I honestly can sit here and say I do believe him, and here's why. When you are removed from a situation like he was, going to the Jets, then suffering an injury, it shifts your mind to something completely different. Is my career over? I got to get back. And then he still spends another year not even focused on what that team is doing. You're watching that team, but you don't have to play that team. And then now you're with another organization that brought you in because they feel like you're kind of the missing piece. The last thing, because you've been so removed from what the Packers have been doing, I didn't have that luxury. I was in the division. So naturally, I'm still close to it. I see it every single week. I saw it every single week, rather. He didn't have to do that. Now, the competitor in him would love to win. He wants to win. And And more so than even that, he wants to outperform Jordan Love. Right. He wants to outplay him and get the win and then kind of walk off, kind of give him a little wink. Like, that part of him, I'm sure he feels that way. But to have animosity towards the organization that he had a great amount of success, I believe that he doesn't. Now, individuals within the organization,
well, yeah,
that might be different.
Well, go ahead, Bruce. Sorry.
No, I think I agree with you for the most part. Like, I don't see it as a revenge game, right? And I know obviously they had issues within the organization. We remember the press conference where he called out the entire front office and defended all the players.
Everybody knows you have to FaceTime me.
Right. We remember that. I mean, we remember how upset he was that they drafted Jordan Love, you know, and I think their relationship is fine, but still, he was upset about that. He was upset they wouldn't take a receiver in the first round his whole time there. Then almost as soon as he leaves, they draft a receiver in the first round. So I think there's some things he didn't like about the way it went there. But I agree with you. I don't think revenge game is probably the right word. But I do think, like you said, he wants to beat them. He wants to, you know, put egg on their face, so to speak. So, but I kind of half believe him. I think he's I do think he's downplaying the game a little bit.
So listen, I don't think he sees the Packers logo and is like, I hate those. You know, I think he sees the Packers logo and thinks of great memories and winning, throwing touchdown passes in the Super Bowl to Greg Jennings. I really do. But the Packers, every organization is just a collection of people. And I think there's a lot of people within the organization that he does have animosity towards. And it is instructive with Aaron to, you know, try to decipher his words given previous words and past statements. Going into that Jets game, week 1, he said he tried to downplay that game as well. And then after that game, he said this. We can play you the sound.
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
I mean, and so I agree. I don't think he has any animosity towards players on the Packers. I think, and I give Aaron credit, and he has only said good things about Jordan Love, and it seems like he was as good as he could be to Jordan Love given the odd dynamic. But I think the management piece of it, and probably a little bit of LaFleur as well, this is a chip on his shoulder. You know, the circled game of the season, even more so than the Jets game, is how I would read that to be.
So that's a great sound, but the time difference in the time frame is that was so fresh. That happened. He actually
months ago.
He spoke about wanting to come back to the Jets, and they were like,
way they made him fly out.
No, we don't want you. Whatever the case may be. So yes, you're going to feel that way when you're Aaron Rodgers and you play them week 1. It's fresh. It's the first opponent. It's top of mind. You want to stick it to them. Where I'm with him is, again, when you go back to the Packers, and if you know, I have the luxury of knowing Brian Gutekunst. One of the nicest individuals you ever want to meet. One of the nicest. So it's hard to just maintain that level of, I can't stand this guy. You can feel that way because of how things played out. However, when you are removed from it for a while, you start to consider the other's point of view. When you're in it, I don't want to hear your point of view. I don't care. But now that he's been removed from it,
go ahead, KW.
I understand it.
KW, say what you're thinking.
Yes, please say it.
You want me to say it since you're supposed to be the nice guy?
No, because Greg is being a nice guy too, and it's Thursday. It's a nice Thursday on First Things First. I don't want to call. I ask.
Go ahead.
Who cares?
No.
I'm going to do it now. I was like, Greg, do you remember who was drafted before you in the NFL draft? And which is far. You're pretty removed.
Absolutely.
From it. He's pretty
That was
removed.
ages
from it. A long time ago.
This
And he
guy-
had a successful career.
Yeah, this guy can't
And
stop
he got a
talking about
Super Bowl.
Chad Jackson.
And it wasn't like, glad you asked. There actually is a few guys. This guy's a nice guy. And then this guy. I'm like, Greg, why? You're far removed from it. I just still think it doesn't.
That's fair.
The flame may have dulled, but I think you can stir up the embers a little bit. Once Aaron Rodgers sees guys in Packers uniforms in Pittsburgh, he's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
See, I also feel like that plays into it as well. If it were back in Lambeau,
it'd be different.
I would feel slightly different because now you're going to be in the visitors' locker room.
Right.
You're going to see them coming out of your tunnel, like
Your parking spot.
all those things.
It's something. All right, more on this game later in the show. He was fast though. He couldn't run like Mr. Jackson. Is Bruce under duress?
We love this video.
Well, that one.
I understand why. It's a good video.
That's the first thing too. Live from New York. It's the show that is excited for the upcoming Bud List. It's the second hour.
You didn't have
First
anything.
Things. I didn't have
You
anything.
didn't have anything.
Because I was going to say.
Yeah.
Today, Cowboys bring their high-flying offense to Mile High. Can they stay hot, or will Denver's defense shut Dallas down?
I have an all-time prediction for that game.
Wow.
That you're going to love.
Really?
Love it. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, Josh Allen, full LeVar Ball after a bye. Never lost. But will that change in Carolina?
Lonzo played all right last night, too.
No,
In Cleveland.
But right now, of course, it's time for the most motivational segment in all of sports. Also time where we read some viewer mail. Christina went all the way to the post office today to bring back some comments from YouTube.
To the post office for that? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Why were they at the
much
post
easier.
office?
I don't ask questions. She comes back.
Gianna prints off the comments, puts
Mails
them in the
them.
mail to the post or PO box. So Christina, yeah, I've always thought Gianna didn't like Christina. She makes her do extra work. I get it. I'm on to you.
These are real comments this time. Not
This
that Don Sr., Don Jr., Ryan Bryant aren't real. Shohei pitched, because remember, Shohei was on the Bud List.
Yep.
Shohei pitches 6 scoreless and hits 3 home runs in the same game. Brew should take credit. The next one.
I do.
GOAT Bud List performance. Again, that's from you. And then finally, this is Shohei's version of the tackle that turned the tide. Hopefully, at least. So yet, I just wanted to drive home that the Bud List, we don't just say it's the most motivational segment in all sports. It actually yields results.
Yes. Very well done.
There you go. I mean, you want a cowboy, I guess? I don't know.
I don't know. We want something funny.
Is that
we
it?
What
I'm
was
wondering.
that? We're all waiting.
I don't like the cow.
That's fine.
I don't like the
Everybody else
Photoshop.
loves
it.
So it's just 3 compliments,
No,
and
but
he's like, "Oh, okay." Am I in the cowboy hat with a little vest on?
Waiting on something.
We're waiting
I
on a
didn't do it.
punchline.
I don't like
There's
Photoshop.
always a punchline. That's fine. Then at least pull a funny comment. Not just like
It was funny. It mentioned
thumbs
tackle that
up.
turned the
Good
tide.
prediction, Brew.
Don't blame
We're all
me.
waiting.
Christina, failure.
Well, I am looking for big time motivation.
Thank
this week.
you.
All right, that's what I do. And at number 3, Justin Herbert.
Oh, wow.
Justin, what are you? Are you like a better version of Jay Cutler?
Jay Cutler.
Are you a slightly worse version of Dan Fouts and Phillip Rivers? You know, great quarterbacks for the Chargers, legitimately great, and Fouts a Hall of Famer, but not quite good enough to lead them to Super Bowls. Maybe, is that who you are? I don't know. You started off like gangbusters. Actually, number 1 on Brew's ballot for a few weeks. Maybe, Nick, do you know him, have a relationship with you? Because he goes at your squads. And he looked great in beating the Chiefs, looked great in beating your Raiders.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's been all downhill. 5 games since then, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3 losses. All right, so now tonight you face Minnesota. You have a chance to right the ship. And I don't want to hear about the offensive line injuries. Tell that to C.J. Stroud. You think he wants to hear that? No. I don't want to hear about the offensive line injuries. You got a solid receiving core and running back group. You got a coach who's great and loves you. Defense is okay. Defense is good enough. Like, I think you guys should be a very good team, but you are only going as far as you take them. And believe it or not, I believe in you. I do. I'm not Danny Parkins, but I do believe in you, Justin. Go get it done. All right, at number 2, J-Lo. J-Lo, you're an afterthought. J-Lo doesn't even matter this week. It's all about Aaron. It's all about Aaron Rodgers facing his former team. What about you? I think it's about you. Aaron's career, he's had a great, phenomenal career. It's tailing to an end. But you are in the prime of your career, or getting to the prime of your career. Make this game about you. This is your time to begin building your legacy. Aaron had to take the torch from Brett Favre. You have to take the torch from Aaron Rodgers. Make this the official taking of the torch. All right, now you've been good. I mean, contrary to popular opinion on this show, among those 3, you have been very good this season. A 108 passer rating, I guess that's something to sneeze at. 10 touchdowns, 2 picks. All I hear is, he'll throw the bad interception. He'll throw the bad interception. 2 interceptions this year, that's it, against 10 touchdowns. And you're having a very solid year without a couple of your best receivers who will be back at some point. Now, you got the team to do something special. You can be a star, and you can win a Super Bowl. You got the running back in Josh Jacobs. Plethora of good receivers, if not a great one. The defense is going to keep getting better and already is good. You just need kind of to step it up a little bit, and light things on fire. You got the ability. Start tonight. J-Lo, I believe in you. At number 1, major motivation en route.
Oh, here we go.
The Ravens.
The whole team?
All of them.
This seems
all
fair.
The front office, John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, Zach Orr, the defense for sure, Lamar, Derrick Henry, everybody. This is it. I called it a month ago.
Yeah.
I said, this is the game we're pointing at. You might be 1-5 going into Chicago, but you get that game, it'll turn everything around. And look at all you've done. First of all, you got Lamar back. You have every reason to feel like this is a fresh start. Lamar is back, all right? The defense is coming off its best performance of the season. The veterans took all the toys out of the locker room. You're at home against a decent team, but not an overwhelming squad. Like, this is the time to begin the resurrection of your season. What an opportunity. What an opportunity. And to make the playoffs, to win a division after a 1-5 start, when people think that can't be done.
Momentum?
Yeah, talk about momentum going into the playoffs. I said while I was over the offseason, you'll back me up on this. Maybe rather than running through the regular season and everything being great and peachy keen, maybe you have some adversity.
I don't think you were anticipating quite this much.
I wasn't anticipating. I just said it wouldn't be bad to have some. Now this is a lion's share of adversity. I didn't necessarily want this much, but hey, this is adversity. If you turn this around and run into the playoffs having won 8 of 9 games, whatever it's going to take, that is momentum going into the postseason, which is what you need. Ravens, let's go. I believe in you.
Wow, just an excellent bud list. That was.
This is an excellent bud list. I'm going to add to this bud list Brian Daboll.
Ooh.
Yes.
I was just not here. The knives come out for Daboll.
Well, Nick, I'm going to ask you a question, okay?
Sure, I'd love that.
You're a head coach. They have one job. What's that job?
I mean, game management.
They got to manage the game.
Yeah.
They got to manage the game.
Yeah.
If you're a head coach, that's the expectation for the most novice of viewer. watching the game. Oh, he's going to take control. He's going to know what he's supposed to do.
Greg. Yeah.
And when you as a head coach don't do that one thing, here comes the noise. And the noise is deservingly loud because as a head coach, if you don't manage the game correctly and the fans have something to be excited about because of the change at quarterback, the defense playing well, and you are quieting all of that excitement down because we're focused on, is our head coach going to put us in a position to win these games? Is he going to protect our players? Is he going to cover for our rookie quarterback? Because we're not going to blame Jackson Dart. We're not going to blame just the defense.
We're going to blame.
We're going to blame
the kicker.
You. And the media in New York, boy, it's loud. The chatter, the noise, it's loud. And when it gets loud, decisions have to be made. You made a decision earlier this year once the noise got loud at the quarterback position. You know what? You didn't want to play Jackson Dart too soon, but you know what? The noise got loud. The boos were clamoring. You folded. Jackson Dart, go, please. Now it's on you. You've been asked about, are you going to make any coaching changes? Shane Bowen, the debacle on defense, what you didn't do for as far as game management. Look, you see the title. Yeah. It's day by day. Now I don't think they're going to get rid of you at any point this year because they care about the quarterback and they care about that young man and preparing him to just go into the next season without disruption right now. But boy, no one's expecting you to just go and beat the Eagles this week, but we better see your team adhering to whatever you're telling them this week. You better be competitive. Brian Daboll, I believe in you.
Really?
For the rest of the season.
Wow.
Well, that's good stuff. Dart could be his savior because, you know, what they did with Daniel Jones, he had a pretty good rookie year.
Yep.
And he had several offensive coordinators while he was there with the Giants. That didn't work, obviously. I'm sure they do not want to put him with several head coaches and offensive coordinators, Dart. So that could save Daboll's job. So.
Yeah, but it can't have a massive tailspin like the
like the Bears.
They did like the Bears after the Hail
But they could lose.
They can lose. They can
but
lose,
it can't
but
be
not
ugly.
7 games in a row.
Right.
And they have a really tough
There has
schedule.
to be some
KW?
Well, it's 4:12, and whether you like it or not, here comes the sports media ombudsman.
People do like it, and I don't. Whether
I didn't
you
say
like it or
people
not,
did. I
this
didn't say
seems
people didn't like it.
unnecessary
I
as
didn't. I was
always.
just telling them.
So this is a positive sports media ombudsman, Brew, and it's one near and dear to my heart. So an interesting thing has kind of developed over the past few years at this very network. We have become very heavy in guys who's came up in radio. There's obviously myself. There's T-Bob on Herbert on Wake Up Barstool. Danny, Brew, you did radio. You didn't come up in radio. And of course, the godfather really of the network, one Colin Cowherd, which is why it warmed my heart a couple days ago when Colin won the equivalent of the Oscar for radio broadcaster when he won National Personality of the Year at the Marconis.
Oh, that's
It is
cool.
such a really cool, well-deserved, and I assume he's won many Marconis, but this is like the best actor at the Oscars. This is the biggest category, and he won it. And I am a radio guy at heart, which is why this is kind of a multi-layered bud list, because there was another friend of FS1, guy who was on this show before, Andrew Filipponi. He also won the Marconi, his station did, for Station of the Year, which was really good. Because it's been a tough week for Andrew Filipponi. A week ago today, Brew, there's a happy ending to this. He sent out this tweet, and we'll show it to you, because it says, there's no way the Steelers lose tonight. In fact, I'll get my nipples pierced with no numbing agents if they lose to the Bungles. It ain't happening. Now, you might say that's just a silly radio bit. Why is that on the show other than he's Nick's friend from college?
Can I stop down here for a second?
Yeah, sure. They tried to tell me that I had to
hear
warn
the
you about
end of
this.
story.
I didn't want to because it's such a positive
I just want to stop down
story.
here for
Yeah,
a second.
go ahead.
Talking about this guy getting his
Nipples pierced
with no numbing agent. Okay, I mean, do you have other video here, or is this just a talking segment?
There's no video. Can you just?
I'm just a little bit nervous.
Can you just? So here
a little bit nervous.
We don't want to see
So,
it.
so here, there's nothing to be nervous about. And like I
He
said,
said Wild's gonna hate it.
like I said, you have to trust me and have faith in me of why I'm doing this. Because just like I'm always trying to do a shave your head bet, radio guys at their cores want to make these big bets and have payoffs. So how is, as you see my pink shirt, and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, how is Andrew Filipponi, recent Marconi winner, paying off his bet? Update.
Okay.
I'll be getting my nipples pierced at Mike's Beer Bar.
Gracious.
The money raised through ticket sales and other stuff will go to fight breast cancer.
Great.
If you think it'd be fun to watch me suffer and kick breast cancer's butt, stay tuned for how you can be there. So, shout out to a fellow Marconi winner, friend of the show, for making a terrible wager and losing it, and then raising money, turning it into a good cause.
That was good.
That's a good.
That
That's
is
I told
good.
you.
I thought it was going in another direction.
No, I wasn't going to show video of anything. No, I was going because you lose a lot of credibility with the audience. You're like, I'm going to do this, and then you lose, and you're like, I'm not actually doing it. So in a few days, that's happening. He's probably going to raise 50, 100 grand for breast cancer.
That is good. The end is good.
The end is good.
Next time, make a more reasonable.
Yeah.
Really?
The no numbing agents felt like
he didn't even have to do it.
No. Yeah.
I don't even know why he threw that in there.
said it, period.
Yeah,
It still would've been
hold on, is there a numbing agent?
Wow. Woo.
I'm going to put the Dolphins podium on the Bud list.
Oh, this is
Podium.
great.
So,
Dolphins shouldn't speak.
well, I didn't. Here's the thing, okay? We are in the sports content business, and these press conferences are giving us the content. But much like a responsible bartender, when they see someone that's had a little bit too much, you know what? You are the lifeblood of our business, but your money's no good. Dolphins, you can shut it down. There might be fines. I don't know who's going to fine you, the league. Maybe we can tell you, like, we're good. For the sake of the league and the team, this is not helping the sport. So now we have, and this is a true story. I was like, I saw these two quotes that I will play for you. I'm like, maybe I'll run through all of the Dolphins quotes from Mike McDaniel saying today's a good day because we're another day closer to death. Yeah. And then you had another player was mad at the Bears because the Bears were playing tackle football. That was too difficult. And there was literally too much. I'm like, I don't have all day to do this. I'll just pick the two.
Yeah.
Here are the two recent examples of why the Dolphins should probably shut down these press conferences. Tua, of course, has had back-to-back 3 interception games.
Yeah.
He was benched last week. Mike McDaniel still has faith in him. But usually if you're like, you know what, I'm still riding my quarterback. He did lead the league in passing. Yeah. He's my guy. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's the starter for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel went another direction. Take a listen.
He's going to take the snaps this week, and he's going to be our starter this week. And my expectation is that we don't throw 10 picks.
Okay.
Real vote of confidence.
Not great. I'm just saying it's just not the way Harbaugh talks about Justin Herbert.
Definitely
he should have a bust in Canton right now. Now Tua,
this guy.
Now Tua, on the other hand, he's been a little loose at the podium. Remember, he blamed some of his fellow players for being late to the the players-only meetings, and he blamed the leadership. He's like, hold on, am I the leader? Then he had to apologize for that. And honesty is usually a good policy, but also, like, again, you're not under oath. You don't need to start volunteering stuff. So here's Tua on some of the challenges he had finding Jalen Waddle. Take a listen.
Some of it has to do with being able to see guys with their guys also up front and our guys. And I'm not the tallest guy in the back there either. So being able to see, and then, sometimes when that happens, you don't want to just throw it blindly.
I mean, that's, again, accurate. But, Greg, I just wouldn't volunteer it.
Now we know he's been throwing blindly.
He's
been back here. Here, go get
It's just I appreciate the honesty and I like the content, but
He
at
has
this case,
now
I gotta cut you guys off.
He's too
Or
honest.
call you an Uber.
He's
I
volunteered.
hate to say
He's
that.
like, my problem with passing to Tyreek is he's so fast and I have such a weak arm.
Gosh darn it!
And my problem with throwing to Jalen Waddle is our linemen are tall.
It's just, it hasn't been.
You were Tua guy, Wilds.
I am a Tua guy. I like Mike McDaniel too.
They just sometimes just say no comment or whatever. But that's an excellent one. The Dolphins podium. That was terrific.
Dolphins in Atlanta.
That was great.
There you go.
That's motivating. Maybe they'll do it.
I don't know if that was motivating. Is Dak going to light up this Broncos defense? That's next on First Things First on FS1. And the stat that is so good.
Not a stat, a
whatever
prediction.
it is.
Shohei, now let's talk World Series. Having played in it last year for the first time.
Shohei Ohtani.
What lessons did you take from that you'll apply to this year's World Series?
どうですかね、去年、なんとか結果を出してチームの一員として認めてもらいたいなっていう1年だったので、今年はもう本当の意味でチームの一員としてというか、ディフェンディングのチャンピオンとしてまた臨まないといけないので、去年とも違う戦いになるんじゃないかなっていう、期待と不安とどちらもあるかなと思ってます。
That's Kevin Burkhardt and Shohei Ohtani. You can see the full interview as Game 1 kicks off coverage at 7 o'clock on Fox. It's going to be
Can't wait.
excellent. Welcome back to First Things First. Greg Jennings still here.
Also, I think I just learned the word in Japanese for championship.
Oh.
I think it sounds
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
No huddle time. Cowboys take their high-flying offense to Mile High to face the wake-up. It's the fourth quarter Broncos. Denver, without Dre Greenlaw, got suspended, but still, the Broncos are 3.5-point favorites. Who do you trust more in this game, the Broncos or the Cowboys?
Go ahead, bro.
That's a great question.
Thanks.
It's clear. No, it's strength on strength, right? Like great offense in Dallas, great defense in Denver, poor defense in Dallas, poor offense in Denver. So this is tough because the Cowboys, I mean, they let everybody down with that performance against Carolina. And on the road, they haven't been great. That loss was on the road. They scored, 14 points in the loss at Chicago. So all of a sudden that high-flying offense kind of was grounded on the road in some of their games. But I'm going to go with Dallas. Like I know I'm running the risk of eating my words, but I feel like that offense is just so high-powered that I'm going to trust them. I kind of trust them more than I trust Denver's offense to keep up with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they'll run roughshod over Denver's defense, but I'm going to go with trusting Dallas more because I don't know if Denver can score with them.
I'm on the opposite end of it. I obviously, like you said, it is strength on strength, but I trust the Broncos because of their defense and because of what I know that they have the capability and have proven to do in the fourth quarter offensively. The one thing that I know the Dallas Cowboys struggle with is stopping the run. Mm-hmm. And against the Denver Broncos, if you can't stop the run and Bo Nix, you allow him to have any type of momentum, you're going to have problems. The Cowboys, I love their offense. CD, obviously, George Pickens. But when you got a player like Benito who can get after the
great, and Cooper's been great.
And then you have someone in the secondary that they have, like Pat Surtain, it is hard. It is hard to get things going because the defense of the Denver Broncos are meant to disrupt what you do from the snap immediately. And they can do it better than anyone in football, and they have done it better than anyone in football. They already played one of the hottest offenses, one of the best offenses in all of football in the Colts, and they kind of stifled them a little bit.
I like to see it. That's smart.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying what he's doing now is
Yeah.
Oh, building the Colts up.
Like
just
baking some
layer
Colts,
that
and then
in.
just like add a little bit more. You can just.
So listen, I think the Broncos have a great defense. Do you guys think the Cowboys can get to 20?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Then the Cowboys are going to win. You get to 20 against Sean Payton and Bo Nix, you win. We can show it to you. 2-8 when allowing 20, and one of those two is last week's miracle.
Right.
And so they were a Brian Dable brain freeze away from that being 1-9. And I know they have been dominant, and it's amazing that in the last year and a half they have 15 instances of allowing less than 20, and they're 13-2. That's how good the defense has been. And I know, Greg, sometimes you think some of my team skepticism is too facile because it's like, I don't really trust the quarterback and I trust the other team's quarterback. But this is a huge quarterback trust discrepancy. You have Dak, a 10-year vet, playing the best ball of his career against Bo Nix, who has struggled mightily. And it's not as if it's like, okay, he struggled at the beginning of the year, but has gotten better. Some of his worst games have been the last couple weeks with great endings. And I'm not taking it. He really did play unbelievably in that fourth quarter this past weekend. But the week before, he played bad all 4 quarters against the Jets. And if we show you Dak versus Bo Nix, the numbers are obviously about as jarring as you would expect them to be. And so I feel like the Cowboys are just as close to a lock for at least 24 points as any team in the league. We talk about that Panther game. They still scored 27, and all of a sudden it's like, Carolina? Not terrible. 4-3. So I trust the Cowboys more on Sunday. I like the Cowboys plus the points. I might even like the Cowboys to win outright, but that's not my...
Oh, I forgot. He has something here.
Prediction of the month.
Prediction of the month. Sneak it in under the wire. New segment.
Prediction of the month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been doing this segment. Privately.
Brandon Aubrey is going to set the record for longest field goal in NFL history in this game.
Oh, wow.
Mile high, perfect weather. The Cowboys, I think, will give him the opportunity.
End of the half or something?
I think within the flow of play, they might try it. I could see Aubrey getting an opportunity at a 70-yarder. I think you're going to hear during the broadcast.
Wow.
Here's Brandon Aubrey in warm-ups hitting from 74 yards. and we're going to see that target field goal line. We're going to be like, is that at midfield? Is the target line at midfield? And so,
that's a good prediction.
mile high, great weather. I think which kind of adds to my confidence in Dallas. I think that they are going to be within field goal range after 2 first downs. And any time that with the new kickoff rule and with this stadium and that kicker, so I just think they're going to be able to get points.
That's a good one.
Prediction of the month.
Prediction of the month.
I don't hate that at all.
You know what prediction of September was? Prediction of the month. Tiger the Show's time. Everybody knows that.
Bills touchdown favorites in Carolina Sunday at 1 on Fox. Josh Allen versus Andy Dalton's the quarterback matchup. Let's look at the defensive matchup. I know that traditionally the Bills have this great defense, but check out Carolina.
Yeah.
Their defense
solidly
has been better.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's been better than Buffalo.
What would a third straight loss mean for Buffalo, bro?
It would not make me think they're not going to make the playoffs. I still would think they're definitely making the playoffs, but I would think they're making it as a wild card.
Oh.
And that would be a
Thank you.
tip of the hat to your boys in New England. And it also would make me think, okay, they're going to make the playoffs as a wild card. They're not getting to the Super Bowl.
No, season's over, basically. The rest, Bob. That means the game.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going. This is their schedule, and I'm sure Nick knows. We could probably put it up. The next game is Kansas City. Now, I know they've beaten them in the regular season. I wouldn't think they're going to beat them again if they lose to Carolina, but we'll see. Then you got the Dolphins. Then Tampa. You got the Steelers. You got New England again, which they probably will win instead of getting swept by them. But then Philadelphia. So, I mean, they've got some games they probably will lose. So, again, I think they'll still make the playoffs, but it would just tell me they're not a great team. And they have to figure out, like, are they going to, they became elite again when they took the ball out of Josh's hands as far as throwing it 35 times a game. now their offense is very pedestrian.
So
are they going to let him air it out?
They do.
At the risk of having some interceptions? And that defense isn't phenomenal.
Tell me if you, right, but that's why I think they have to air it out, because the defense isn't phenomenal. And tell me if you agree with me, Greg. All interceptions are not created equal. Some of Josh's problem was not just the volume of interception. It was week one against the Jets after Rodgers tears his Achilles, where the only way you can lose is you turn the ball over a bunch, turns it over 3 times. One of the games against one of the bad Pats teams.
That's why we won.
Right.
He gave it to us.
And so that's different than, and I'm not trying to play favorites, but a lot of the interceptions Baker threw last year, where it's like, hey, we're going to be in these shootouts. I'm chucking it downfield. I'm going to try to get 2 or 3 touchdowns a game, and I'll give you 1 pick a game, and we think it'll even out. I think the Bills currently don't have a high enough caliber defense, Greg, to just be like, we're going to play super conservative. Basically, we're going to try to have the Chiefs game plan last year. You know what I mean? Short little passes, low scoring, take care of the football. And so I think they have to put the ball back in Josh's hands in that regard.
I agree 100%. Like, how crazy is it? Like, can we put up the Bills' schedule, please?
Yeah.
That we're talking about the Bills potentially losing 3 straight games to the Patriots, the Falcons,
and the Panthers.
Yeah.
Like, this is when
with
we
the
talk.
Chiefs on deck.
Yes, exactly.
Well, then the Chiefs would.
With the reigning MVP of the National Football League, and you're telling me you're going to dial it back? No. To your point, let him be who he is. That's the only way.
There's a lot of reckless picks thrown.
The thing about it is, I don't even think the picks have been reckless. Like, there was times, and I'll add to Nick's point, like in the red zone, he threw bad picks. Like, that's not what he's doing anymore. But when you allow a quarterback to carry this amount of pressure and weight, and he's carried you guys to the point of, where he can't carry you anymore, but I'm MVP caliber, you can't go in reverse. You can't dial it back with that person. Like, you got to allow them to be whatever they need to be in order to get wins. And the only way we're not talking about this is if they choose to do that and let Josh Allen be special.
And listen, I think you clearly can, because they did dial it back if it's working. You know what I like? When things are going well, when you're like, hey, we are talented enough that we are just going to play a lower variant style.
But defensively, they were better.
Exactly, that's my point. But now you're on a losing streak. The defense isn't as good. KW, can I turn this question on its head just a tiny bit?
Yeah, but then I have the take of the month.
Oh, okay, go ahead. You go first.
Take of the month?
Yeah.
I'm an old guy. Talking to my old guy buddy. My old guy buddy's like, I ran a marathon, or I did this. I'm like, shoot, if you could do that, I could do that. That's how old guys think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not when you're young. It's just like, all right, you're strong, whatever. Old guys, like, it's just a matter of willpower at this point, because I'm old and washed. Andy Dalton, watching Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers throw the ball around last week, like, shh, let the Red Rifle get in there, throw the ball around a little bit.
To who, man? He doesn't have Chase and Higgins. He has Tet McMillan and Xavier Legette.
Are they not good?
They're not Chase and Higgins.
Well.
And Andy Dalton is not Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco's been better than Andy Dalton always.
I'm saying it's on the board. Andy Dalton has an excellent game against this Bills defense.
Okay,
I like Nick's prediction.
Yeah, it's definitely not take of the year.
Silver medalist,
take of the month. Can I just put the question to you before we move on quickly?
Yes.
Because you are quietly
a Bills truther.
Truther, I don't think we're there. Skeptic at the moment. Truther assumes like you have the monopoly on what's correct on this. I think it's up in the air. Who's right on
They
this.
just beat the Saints,
I get it. Right.
And Jets, that's
but is this fair? And the Ravens.
The Ravens.
aren't good.
That's fine. But you think the Panthers are kind of good.
Frisky.
Yeah. If the Bills put it on them in Carolina, will that mean anything to you?
Not really.
Exactly. I knew it. I knew it.
It wouldn't mean anything to anybody.
I knew it. So this is a
Trap game.
This is a no win.
After a
No
bye.
win for the Bills. If they lose, they lose. If they win a close one, you're a skeptic.
Close
and if
one
they win a
could be-
blowout, who cares?
They could win a close one, and we could get sad Josh in a press conference.
Meanwhile,
Browns in New England.
Wild's life at S-Bob.
That's right.
When you're S-Bob, that is what it is.
First home game in almost a month for New England. Drake has feasted on some lackluster defenses, Titans and Saints, but now Vrabel says, this is a good test against the Browns. Take a listen.
That was awfully honest of you.
They're playing at a high level. They're playing with a lot of confidence. It's a lot of speed, a lot of disruption. They don't give you a whole lot of time to make decisions. And then there's enough, change-ups in there that, you just have to be good. You have to be sound. And you can't hold on to the ball.
Okay. Is anyone expecting a huge game from Drake May?
I'm not, and I'm curious where you land on all of your who have the Bills really beat skepticism at the door of what defenses has what. Well, hold on. Same with the Bills. You just did a whole thing about the Bills' 4 wins being against bad defense, being against bad teams. Drake May, who you are every week, you turn the Mountain and Bruce Ballot into your own little Drake May soapbox.
That's not me, that's Josh. It's not my fault as good as Tom Brady.
Here are the defenses Drake May has played this year and what they look like. And what you'll notice is none of them are good.
Well, 1/6 of those is because Drake May puts it on them.
Oh, well, this is the same with the Bills. Same with the
Like
Bills
if you have a
being
bad
one of the
outfit,
teams.
but it turns out I picked out your shirt.
But it's only 1/6. And so you just told us how bad the Bills defense is. That's one of them.
That's because
how bad
Drake May
the
put it
Saints
on 'em.
defense is. The Titans
put it on 'em.
defense
We
is.
put it on
The
Titans too.
Steelers, the Dolphins, the Raiders, who we lost to. Steelers lost to as well. So would you agree this is the toughest defense he's faced?
Of course.
So I think it's totally fair to say the numbers could come down to earth this week.
I respect the Browns defense. I think this can be a nice, classic, gutsy Patriots win. I don't need to see
without a big Drake May game.
No, it could be even sub 200. I would be okay with it. I just don't think.
So you don't expect a big Drake May game?
I expect it in my heart, but I would be okay with a sub 200
I'm glad you expect it in your heart because that's probably the only place it's going to happen. Like, even with, I love that.
The only place is his heart?
That means
what
happens. Drake May?
Look, I love that Vrabel said this because he has firsthand experience being a consultant with this team, the Cleveland Browns, last year. He knows how to inform Drake May of everything that he's going to potentially have to see and be and dealt with. And even with that, we've seen the Cleveland Browns, if nothing else, they are going to make it challenging for you as an offensive unit. It doesn't matter who's under center.
Mm-hmm.
And so I expect him to be challenged. I expect everything that Vrabel said, them to disrupt the timing, them to get after him, to muddy the picture, if you will. Drake May is going to be fine because they have the better team, though.
Can I ask you the reverse question that Nick asked me? If Josh McDaniels just finds a wrinkle that he can exploit and all of a sudden Drake May's out here cooking, will you come on board the Drake May, MVP train? What do you want to let?
I mean, he's been on Bruce Ballot the last 2 weeks.
Can he really impress you in this
game? He was second in MVP. What more do you want, KW?
I'll give you something.
Go ahead.
I said this week on Bruce Ballot, this is probably the last week Baker is up there. That's what I expect because his numbers haven't been tremendous this season. He's had these heroics at the end of games. Drake, if he cooked the Browns, that would be impressive. Joe Burrow had 113 yards.
Yes, what did J-Lo do?
Jared Goff, J-Lo were both sub 200. So, and they lost, J-Lo. Lamar cooked them, but that's Lamar. So if he cooked the Browns, he would have a chance of really moving up my ballot.
I'm okay with an ugly win.
No.
We're getting a little high on our own supply.
Can I just make something clear? You think the Patriots
fine.
are better than the Bills,
Obviously.
yet the Bills blowing out the Panthers in Carolina would mean nothing, but the Patriots beating the Browns
We're
at
on a
home would mean
3-game
lot.
win streak, though. We're Check out the podcast if you get a chance. It's been excellent. Our YouTube channel has all sorts of good stuff on it. Original content, stuff that's not behind the paywall. We took the paywall down. It's totally free. Also, promo Super 6, play the Fox.
Oh, Ron Burgundy.
Come on, dude.
Oh, this guy read promo Super 6.
Come on, what are we doing?
Buddy, you're not supposed to read that part of your script. You're supposed to just do it.
No, I'm promoting Fox Super 6. Download the app and enter for a free shot to win your share of $10,000. It's a promo. Is it not a promo Super 6? I say promo Super 6. Vikings, Chargers. Same thing. Hey guys?
It's okay.
This is the lead to the Vikings Chargers game.
As the leader of the show, you need to own your mistakes. It's okay.
You guys are late to the team meeting. Both teams coming off of losses. Vikings do have Aaron Jones coming back. That's good. Here's an odd stat. Herbert leads the league in passing yards, but the team 20th in points. Do you need to see a statement game from Herbert and the Chargers?
No, I don't. I need to see a win. I don't care how they win. Like Thursday night games are weird.
Yeah.
They have, but they can't lose. You can't go from 3-0 to 4-4 when you had real Super Bowl aspirations. That's not overstating it. I know we're going to try to.
No, it's not.
And it was after week 3, the conversations surrounding the Chargers were like, well, obviously they have a stranglehold on the division because they were 3-0, 3 wins in the division. So they've just got to win. I don't care what it looks like. They've just got to win.
Yeah. Look, you put him on the bud list, Justin Herbert. Like, he has to be able to overcome what they don't have. And a part of doing that is picking up wins against a team that you feel like you still are better than, regardless of who they have across the field. Look, man, I'm with Nick on this one. Find a way to win.
Yeah,
and
got
be the best player on the field.
Yeah, you're up against Carson Wentz in a game your team needs at home.
Look, you'll take a W. But they are a team that, to Nick's point, people did see as a Super Bowl, like, especially after the first few weeks.
Yeah.
And I thought going into the season, remember, I was like, oh, they going to challenge the Chiefs for the division championship. And then I thought when Rashawn Slater got injured, that was a problem. Yeah. But, they withstood it until Alt got injured. He's back. They need to look good, though. I mean, a win will be great. It'll stabilize them. But I'm talking about, like, are they really a good team?
Well, somebody's going to be the not have a chair in the AFC playoff picture. And, like, if we assume Bills, Patriots, AFC North winner, Colts, Chiefs, or call them locks. Then you have the Broncos, you have the Chargers, you have the Jags, who nobody likes but has the same record as the Chargers, and then maybe one team gets hot.
Yeah, the Chargers could fall.
Right, and so that's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are doing picks.
Yeah, we got 40 seconds to do them.
Yeah. Okay, Greg, you're up first.
I got the Chargers tonight.
Wow. I also have the Chargers tonight. I think I would be very surprised if this is not a clean sweep.
I am going with the Vikings. I think the Vikings are getting very close to being they're very close to being just a whatever team.
If they win,
they're just kind of like an also-ran team. They're going from 14 wins to just like,
if they win
this game.
Here's a prediction. If they win, J.J. McCarthy's ankle's still not ready.
Oh, I don't know. Brew?
Every blue moon, it's rare. Every blue moon, like anything, like Steph missing a free throw.
We do have to go, though, bro.
The bud list doesn't work every time.
No, you're going Vikings?
Like Steph misses free throws occasionally. I'm going with the Vikings.
Wow. Vikings it is.
Wow, good for you guys.
Sorry, Dusty was yelling at me. I'm sorry if I came off as rude there.
No, it's fine.
I'll take it out on Dusty.
Wemby on the go.
Dust!
Next. Live from New York. It's a show that acknowledges it's too early to talk about Wemby and the GOAT conversation. At the same time, we are going to have the conversation about it, but we know it's too early.
A few more games like this, like next week, maybe.
Like, crown him. Unbelievable. He's the GOAT. Today, Aaron Rodgers versus his old team. Why he says this is not a revenge game, and the statistic you need to see. Making stats cool again.
That's yesterday.
I have a stat that's cool.
Oh, you're doing.
Yep. Wow. This stat drives an old Mustang to work. Stick shift. Sunglasses. Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Oh, my God. It's like, you remember that car that Travis drove with Taylor? That's what this stack did work.
Camaro.
Parked illegally.
Parked illegally.
Yeah. He said, the cop comes up. He said, I'll pay you in cash.
It's a real renegade stack.
Winked at the. Meanwhile, Wemby in the World Series, a special edition of Frenemies.
Right.
Multiple topics. But right now, we're talking about the Bears in Baltimore. Caleb riding a 4-game winning streak. Baltimore, 4-game losing streak, bro. But they are still heavy favorites now that Lamar is back. Here is Ben Johnson. Take a listen.
The record really doesn't indicate what they're capable of doing. They can put up points in bunches, and this defense is always, since Harbaugh's been there, has always found a way to respond. So even last year when they didn't start off hot, they came back and they finished the season real strong. So, excuse me, I know coming off a bye week here, they'll be fresh, they'll be rested, they'll be ripping and roaring.
Damn, Rami. Smartest dude in the league, right? Ben Johnson, everybody loves him. We on the same page. Y'all know. Y'all like cackling and mocking me. Y'all know they are not your typical 1-5 team. I've said it. They played 3 of the best teams in the league.
We're just laughing.
Their L's.
We're just laughing, Brew, because right as the soundbite was ending, you just announced, "Put the camera on me."
I wanted them to get
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
all
a
right. What's the
performer.
question, Kato?
The question is, what would a win? It's actually Caleb focused. Yeah.
An actor. Sorry, my bad.
What would a win over Lamar mean for Caleb?
Well, I mean, if the Bears win because of Caleb, it's the biggest win of Caleb's career. It just is. Now, it's only year 2, but last year they had
he hadn't had
he doesn't have a lot of great ones. No, but last year they had a 10-game losing streak, and then they were a 10-point underdog to the Packers in Week 18, and they won. So that was his biggest win as an underdog. But Jordan Love got hurt in the game. Jordan Love only threw 12 passes, and then he won as a 5.5-point underdog against Washington a couple of weeks ago, but he wasn't great. Like, out of the bye, great defensive game, great running game. Like if Caleb outplays Lamar and the Bears win, that will be, you've been asking for, like, when are we going to get the statement game? That'll be the arrival game for Caleb Williams.
You don't agree, bro?
A win over Lamar and the Ravens would mean nothing.
Wait,
I don't understand.
His signature win might be the Cowboys so far. He put 52 on them, right? Outplayed Dak. Dak was good in that game too, obviously. My point is this. If they beat the Ravens 38-35, Lamar's great, Caleb's great, but the Ravens give up 38 points, it just shows that defense hadn't learned. I was wrong. The Rams game was not indicative of anything. All right, the defense is still horrible. Because we talk about him versus Lamar. It's not him against Lamar. It's him against that defense. C.J. Stroud cooked that defense for 44 points. What did it mean? Nothing. All right, so I'm just saying, like, I get, technically you beat Lamar, but it would, and if he wins 10-7, you asked me this earlier. If he beats the Ravens 10-7, that means it's a great win. I give you it's a good win, but you didn't cook.
No,
if you only scored 10 points against them.
Of course, but I totally,
I would think Dallas will be a bigger win.
No, I totally disagree. And I shouldn't say no, like you're wrong. I disagree.
No, if you want to say it's an unacceptable opinion.
No, I'm not going to say it's an unacceptable opinion. I'm not going to say that. But this is where I am in conflict at times with some of the supposedly smarter people that cover the NFL. Because a thing that us Neanderthals do on sports TV that you don't do if you're, talking about expected EPA and DVOA and the really cool stuff is talk about like Mahomes versus Allen and, Mahomes versus Lamar and the Brady versus Manning because, to your point, it's like, well, you're playing the defense. I do believe that in football there is an impact on a quarterback based on who the other quarterback is. I think some guys rise to an occasion. I think some guys play a little tighter. I think there is a real tangible impact on it. And I think, in my opinion, we see it with Lamar up against the Chiefs. Everybody talks about that that's just a Spags thing. I don't think that is just a Spags thing. I also think Lamar doesn't play his best football when Patrick's on the other sideline. I think it would be really impressive if Caleb Williams is staring across the sideline at a, let's assume, healthy, fully functional Lamar after not playing really well the last couple weeks and raises his game. To the point of, we saw him raise his game against Dallas. Now, we can say that's all defense dependent. I understand that. But it would, so I agree with you. I think this would unequivocally be the biggest win of his career because it also, we know the Ravens are going to be at peak everything. Peak concentration because they're not playing pinball. Peak rest because they're off a bye. Peak motivation because every single one of them's on the bud list. I mean, you can't be more motivated than that. So I just think this would be the best win of his career, assuming it comes with him playing well. I'm not talking
that was
about
the assumption I made.
Yeah.
It might be. I mean, he has, and this is not an insult, he hasn't had a bunch of great wins. He played great against Detroit last year. Goff's not Lamar, but I hear you, but would you agree if he cooks them and scores 30-something points, that's a credit. He played a great game, and we will give him some praise. I'm just saying it will also be like,
the Ravens
that's a horrible
defense is
defense.
Right. The Ravens defense
so, I mean, it won't mean like that won't, I don't know that would be, I wouldn't think that would be the moment, oh, he's arrived. Like, will any of us be like, he's here? He is a star now, or, you know,
but you're
right
still
about
saying that the Ravens are this great team,
I think
and
that,
they're
well,
not a normal 1-5
the
team.
offense definitely is great. The defense, I'm hoping, will capitalize on what they did against the Rams.
I'm just telling you, Brew, if the Bears win 38-35 and Caleb cooks, I cannot wait for our A block.
No, it'll be great for him. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Caleb's here because C.J. Stroud did it.
So I agree that and I think you might agree as well. Caleb needs a string. Sure. And he needs to go on
That's what I'm saying,
a type of month like Drake May did.
But Drake May started on the doorstep of destiny against the Bills. And that would be theoretically if Caleb.
But I guess do we have the Bears schedule? Is that something available to us? If not, oh wow,
great job. That's great producing.
Great job, Christina. So they don't have. So let's say Caleb plays really well the rest of this.
Winning,
even if they don't win them all, let's just say Caleb over the rest of this middle column strings together 4 out of 5 really good games. And then the Eagles game would be his doorstep of destiny game.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You know, I'm not saying they win but say
give him a 9-game winning streak.
No, not a 9, but they go 3-2 and Caleb has 4 really good games. And because the Drake May thing against the Bills Wilds, that was his 4th consecutive awesome game? 4th or 5th? Whatever it was, I can't remember when they played, a couple weeks ago. But so you agree that because he hasn't strung together a bunch of
That's all I'm saying. Like, it would be, obviously, you beat Lamar Jackson, that's great. But that defense has been so bad, and if he cooks them, I will think the defense is still terrible, you know?
Sure.
But you're right. If he strings together a bunch of wins, it'd be good.
All right, moving on to Packers at Steelers. This game is on Sunday night. We were kicking around the idea that this is a revenge game for Aaron Rodgers. He said not so much. Here's Aaron Rodgers on Jordan Love. Take a listen.
He's a great kid, man. He really is. I enjoyed my time with him. I'm not surprised by how he's playing. He's playing great. His progression was like mine, kind of where you just kind of first year you're getting your feet wet, second year you feel a little bit more confident. By the time the third year comes around, you're ready to play.
Who do you trust more this game, Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers?
As crazy as this is, because I did not expect myself to feel this way at the beginning of the year, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
Well, you did pick them to
I picked them to make the playoffs. I did, but I thought it was going to be because they were going to get fine play from Aaron Rodgers and they were going to have the best defense in the NFL. They spend more money on the defensive side of the ball. They got stars everywhere, and the defense has underperformed. Rodgers has been good. He has not been great, and their offense has been limited, but we can do the side-by-side comparison of these guys. It's pretty similar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, completion percentage, which I know you don't love, touchdowns for Rodgers, fewer turnovers for Love, passer rating virtually identical, points, wins virtually identical.
Is it virtually identical?
3 points, bro. 3. That 108 to 105 is close to identical.
Through 7 games, right? That's a pretty small difference there, I would say. So I don't think that there's much. If you want to say you like Jordan Love over Rodgers because of 3 points in passer rating, I guess that's fine. But yeah, I'll take the veteran at home who is, to my eye, more consistent this year than Jordan Love. I find him to be playing a more consistent, predictable brand of football.
You left off yards per game, which Love has him beat by 20-something, close to 30. Yards per attempt, which Love has him beat.
I mean, Love has most guys beat.
Yeah, and they've thrown essentially the same number of passes. I think Jordan 176, Rodgers 172. Jordan's got 2 interceptions.
I think they're about the same. Off the top of my head, 176, 172. I'm just going off memory there, guys.
Number of passes.
Yeah, I think
in
you're right.
the same number of passes. I have a great memory. I'm like LeBron in that regard.
Exactly.
Rodgers has 5 picks.
Yeah.
Same number of passes, 5, a few less, 5 interceptions. Love has 2. Yeah. I keep hearing about how J-Lo, and I get it. He is not like where Aaron Rodgers was at his prime. You know, he's not yet there. He's got room to grow. And I get it. Sometimes I'm seeing stuff, I'm a little concerned. But everybody seems to think he's going to throw the bad interception. He hasn't been doing that this year. He's done it here and there.
People are scarred by the Browns pick. I mean, that's just to be fair. They have 1 loss. It's to a team nobody thinks is good. Right. And it felt like the only way they could lose that game. It was similar in a lot of ways to the pick Jackson Dart threw this weekend. The only way you can lose that game is if you throw that pick in that spot. And with Jackson Dart, we're like, you're a rookie. We understand it. Jordan Love, you're in year 6. You're a lot of teams' Super Bowl pick. We didn't understand it. But I agree with you, Brew, that moment and the fact that they almost ran out of time against Dallas has had a very heavy weight on our Jordan Love decision-making feelings for a guy who only has 2 interceptions. I agree with you entirely on that. And both of their numbers are really good. And both of their numbers, in my opinion, are better than you would have realistically expected going into this year. Maybe not you. Did you have Jordan Love winning MVP?
Yeah, preseason.
Because I thought the Packers were going to be more carried by their defense. But I agree with Danny with a caveat. I trust Aaron in that I feel like I know what we're going to get out of him. But I don't think I think he's more, I don't know if he's more trustworthy, more reliable. Mm-hmm. I think Love is more likely to go off for a huge game.
Really?
I just don't, Aaron, Brew's right about the yards. Yeah. Brew's right about the yards thing, man. That Aaron Rodgers we talked about it yesterday, has thrown for fewer yards this year than CJ, than Bryce.
Jordan Love is a big play guy. I mean, he will stand there and he will chuck the ball down.
And last
it'll be 4th and 3 and he'll throw it 40 yards.
Yeah. And so I don't think Aaron I know he's had 2 4-touchdown games, but he hasn't had any big yardage games. Right. And the yards per attempt, which is a stat I like, and the big plays, I think it's more reliable with Jordan Love. And this might be unfair because, to Brew's point, he's only thrown 2 picks. I do feel more concerned that Love is going to make a catastrophic error than I do Aaron, even though I know what the numbers are, Brew. I can't deny it. It's just the feeling I have watching him.
There's one potential. Has Jordan Love made a Pro Bowl? I don't think so. I know the Pro Bowl is kind of wacky now.
Yeah.
Well, let's say there's one potential All-Pro. That's very kind.
Out of these 2?
Yeah, one potential All-Pro and one all-time legend playing. Okay. I think we consistently underestimate all-time legend left in the tank games. And Aaron Rodgers can tell you, you know what? I looked at this game just like I looked at the Patriots game, and I'm here and I'm just trying to throw the ball. I think we are due for an all-time I can take it up to this level type of game that we see.
So you think this might be like the last great Aaron Rodgers moment?
I think.
No, he'll do that against the Bears.
Part of that, I think there are. I think this
promise you he will have a great game against the Bears.
And I know that Aaron Rodgers not planning on playing past this year.
No, but there was reporting this week from, I think, Darlington that the Steelers want him past this year.
He looks great. That this is a game that could go either way. that he could play amazing and be like, you know what? Check that box. I can go to Malibu and hang out. Or he can play great, like, you know what? I still got it. Let's run it back. But I think that you see LeBron, Tiger, like, oh my, what is Tiger doing? Like, you can see it with all-time greats raising their game. And I've got a stat I will show you tomorrow.
Oh, you don't have the stats?
Why not now?
You want to see the stat?
Yeah.
It's not that great, to be honest with you. I don't even know if we pulled it. No, it's the first game against their former teams.
Oh.
This was the Brady game that I remember I went to this game.
You went
we
to
did
that. And did you show afterwards from the parking lot?
Yeah, well, we were in the stadium, but Brady was
I remember that.
frazzled that game. Again, it was in Foxborough. He got like a hero's welcome and then booed 5 minutes later. It was like very strange. Peyton in Indianapolis was 386, 3 touchdowns. Favre against the Packers, 271, 3 touchdowns. I think we are in for a classic performance.
I wish this game was in Lambeau.
I don't know. What is, I don't know if you guys can put that back up just real quick. Here is what I would say is the distinction on these. Tom Brady in 2021, I think, came in second in league MVP. Peyton Manning.
He wasn't good in that game, though. Tom Brady was not good in that particular. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, but I think he's going to trend towards.
But he was a better player.
Right. He was that year. He was second in MVP voting. Peyton Manning in 2013. I think that year won the league MVP, or if not, or it was a year removed. And Brett Favre in 2009 came in second in MVP.
Right.
I just think those three guys, even though Favre's same age as Aaron right now, and Brady might be older than Aaron is right now, were closer to that season, closer to the peak version of themselves than Aaron is right now. I like that. I like that.
That was a fun graphic.
It's a good job. Kid.
Legend alert.
Was
We know
cool.
why I took off? Because I was supposed to feed it to you.
What?
Montana against the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember how he did.
He did pretty well.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Cowboys in Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Broncos have won 4 in a row. Cowboys, get this, bro, have gone loss, win, loss, tie, win, loss, win, and now this game. They're the only team in the league besides the Vikings who haven't strung together to consecutive somethings. Take a listen to Sean.
I haven't had consecutive wins or losses.
Yeah, or ties.
Or somethings.
Yeah.
Or something.
Wow.
Talked to the guys a little bit. I guess it was more the offensive guys just out there at walkthrough about, we got to, sustaining success and putting together a streak. You got to put together streaks of wins. You can't win, lose, because what you're looking at when you do that is, 8 and 9, 9 and 8, whatever, the 17 games. It's a little harder to do the math for me. But it starts with today and the prep for today.
Because his visor's on.
I like this guy. I like Schottenheimer. I think I was just
done a
wrong
good
about
job.
him. I like him.
You're buying the Cowboys can start their winning streak in Denver.
So I do think they're going to win this game, but I don't think they've got a long streak in them, if that makes sense. I think this game they can win because I heard what you were saying earlier, Brew. Like, their offense is awesome, and we just saw Denver against the
Brewers
Giants.
say it to believe their offense was awesome?
No, but he said who he was trusting.
You're right.
Great mind. That's all I'm saying. We're opposite on Herbert, Bears, Ravens this week. I had to find some alignment. No, I think the Cowboys are going to win this game, and I like them in this spot. But Coach Schottenheimer's probably going to have some problems with like a 4 or 5 game winning streak because their defense is just not good enough. And they got to play Mahomes and Hurts and all of these guys on their schedule still. I just think they're in trouble.
They better go on a streak.
Wow.
They better. They should be on a 3-game win streak. They blew it in Carolina, and I get it, Carolina has improved. You blew it, Cowboys. You're supposed to win that game. Because here's the deal. This game, then they got Denver, which isn't, this is Denver. Then you got Arizona and the Raiders. This should be a 3-game win streak. Because guess what? After that, it's Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit, and then Minnesota, the Chargers, Washington, and Dallas, and the Giants. So my point is, they're 3-3-1. What can get them into the playoffs? 10-6-1, maybe?
10-6
at worst.
I think would get them in.
Okay, they got 3 more losses then. I just said they got to play the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Lions.
Yeah.
Not to mention the Chargers. They need to beat these teams that we think they may be better than. So, they don't have a silly loss left.
So I agree with you 100%, which is if they win this game, I think they will go on a streak. I think they will be on a 4-game winning streak. Because I do think they'll beat Arizona, and coming out of the bye, as much as it breaks my heart, I've got to admit, I think I slightly overrated the Raiders. I no longer think the Raiders are the 6th best team in the AFC. And so
That's big of you, man.
The teams that scare me if I'm Dallas are teams that can pop off for a big number. And Arizona, I don't know what's going on with Kyler Murray. By the way, that's like the most undercovered story by us, I guess, as well. I don't put Arizona in that bucket. Denver's definitely.
They just scored 33 and a quarter.
They scored 33 and a quarter, but that's such an aberrant to who they've been all year, who they were in that game. And the Raiders just had 30 plays. Not points, not yards, plays. And so if they beat Denver, I do think there is a real chance, Brew, that after the bye, they are 6-3-1, and we are taking them very seriously. Now,
their defense is just bad enough they can lose to anybody.
Well, as evidenced by the Panthers game. Yeah. The flip side of that is Panthers that loss is not as terrible as we thought.
No.
What I'll say about Carolina, to your point. So I think I agree with you, Danny, in that I think they're going to win this game. I just don't think Denver is going to have back-to-back 30-point games. I think that's what they need.
World Series and a little Wemby talk next on Frenemies as the OT continues. Even more OT, double OT it's called.
No, it's just double.
Should be a great World Series. Game 1, Dodgers, Blue Jays. Coverage begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern on Fox. Ohtani coming off of one of the best performances, frankly, anyone has ever seen in any sport in Game 4 of the NLCS. Rob Manfred joined the guys earlier today on FTF to talk about it. Take a listen.
The 2 words that always come to the top of my mind is two-way, right? You know, some people have hit 3 home runs in postseason games, Reggie Jackson being the best example. But, you know, to pitch like he pitched and hit 3 home runs at the same time, I just can't imagine somebody else doing it. Now, hopefully, you know, he won't turn out to be a unicorn. Maybe we'll have another one someday. But he is a really special player.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Frenemies. Good stuff, buddy, with the commissioner earlier. What do you expect from Ohtani in this World Series?
So, because he had a really bad NLCS up until he had the greatest game in the history of baseball, which I guess was a quarter of the NLCS. But that's
how baseball works.
He had been scuttling the series before as well.
Yep.
I do think that that momentum will carry him into the World Series. I don't think it'll be enough because I think the Blue Jays are oddly the right type of team to give the Dodgers trouble, which is the only concern about the Dodgers all regular season was, man, that bullpen is not good.
Right.
And the starting pitching has been so historically good this postseason, it hasn't mattered. I think the Blue Jays, who first in the league and on base, fewest strikeouts in Major League Baseball, highest batting average in Major League Baseball, are going to put enough balls in play that they get to the Dodgers bullpen, and I think that allows the Blue Jays to actually upset them in the series.
I feel like my analysis on this is skewed by Pasquatch when he was here with us, because he was just so dead on right with everything. But the Phillies and the Brewers were really bad matchups for Ohtani because of the volume of lefties that they had that they could throw at him. And Toronto doesn't have that. Like, they don't have it in the same way. So, and with what he just said with Kevin Burkhardt about, like, the star player and being back in the World Series and the pressure he puts on himself to perform, I just feel like he's going to take that Game 4 performance and be absolutely dominant. And Pasquatch said World Series MVP for Ohtani, so I'm going with it.
Well, if the Dodgers win, I agree. But I think that he could be dominant and they lose. I think that it's on the board that he hits 370 with 2 bombs in the World Series, but they lose.
All right, let's go from one unicorn to another.
Yeah.
I have been dying to talk about Victor Wembanyama all day. I don't really understand fully what we watched last night. It was an alien. It was a unicorn. It was unbelievable. The Spurs rout the Mavs 125-92. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. No big deal. Here's Wemby after the game.
Much more in control of myself. The mind, I'm not worried about because I saw what it's like to be confronted with potentially losing a lot, whether it's your career or your health. So I'm not taking this for granted anymore. But the body, it's I'm having more fun now that I'm not struggling to move as much.
Such an impressive kid, an unbelievable game. I put something together for you we'll do in a minute, but I don't know if you saw this. This time yesterday, Victor Wembanyama, 12-1 to be MVP of the league.
Yeah.
Right now he is 3-1.
Right, which is second best, right?
Yeah, I think right there at third. Yeah. Just behind Jokic and SGA.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's an overreaction.
No, I don't think it's an overreaction either. And it's twofold. It's, yes, because he had this monster game that I don't think anybody is shocked by him having that type of impact defensively.
No.
But the offensive impact against, and this is the point I keep reiterating, I think Anthony Davis would be my number one draft pick of any player in the league to try to slow Wemby down. Like, of anyone in the league. So, when their next game's against New Orleans, then the Nets, then the Raptors.
That will be easier.
And so part of it's what he did offensively against AD, but the other piece of it is I think Vegas now thinks, oh man, the Spurs might be really good because of him.
Right.
Because that's so hard to win MVP if you're not a top 3 seed. That seemed impossible going into the year. It seems more possible now, and even they might make a Wemby exception, which is if they're the 5 seed, but he's the only all-star on the team, maybe that's how he wins it.
And also, like, for the best player in the world conversation, I have never struggled with these as much as so many people in the media does. Like, I look at it as a scouting term. Like, of course, greatest of all time, Tom Brady. He's got the most rings. Like, it's an accomplishment conversation. He's not going to be able to be in the Jokic accomplishment conversation this year or the SGA accomplishment conversation this year. But as a scout's eye, you make fun of me for how much I rely on my eye test. Man, yes, that's the best basketball player. That is the best basketball player.
So he might be. My point with whether it's your scout's eye with Herbert or with this, no matter what he does this year, he can't get in the accomplishments conversation.
Of course.
I get that. But I put such a heavy premium to not just winning, how you perform in the postseason, that it is impossible for me to say a guy, but just to finish the thought, I'm not saying he has to go win a championship to be eligible for this title. I just need to see him be whatever level he is in the regular season, be able to be that level in the postseason before I can, without really abandoning all my best player alive principles, say it. So best player alive to me is, it sounds like for you, best player alive, the answer to that question is the exact same answer always to, hey, there's a game tomorrow. Who would you want as your number one pick?
That's right.
And that, to me, oddly, is not always the same. That's not always the same person. Like, there have been plenty of times that I have felt that Luka, night in, night out, when he was a Mav 2 years, was the guy I'd want tomorrow, but it wasn't fair for me to say he's the best player in the world. But Wemby might break all the rules, though, because he's 7'5".
So that's what I wanted to kind of pivot to here, and we only have a couple of minutes. But I just put some random career superlatives together, and I want you to look at them with me.
Okay.
And tell me if you think Wembanyama is going to end up on this list. Mutombo, Ben Wallace, Rudy Gobert. Those are the guys who are tied for most Defensive Player of the Year awards. I would happily take the over on 4 for Wembanyama.
I think he will win more Defensive Player of the Year. Yes. The only hiccup is the games minimum that didn't exist for those guys.
Sure.
But yes, I would say he will break the record for most DPOYs.
Will he join Michael Jordan as the only person ever to be a Defensive Player of the Year and win a scoring title?
That really is a question of, will he win a scoring title?
Right.
Yeah, because if I think he's going to win 8 Defensive Player of the Year, I don't know.
Okay,
that's the part. That's the one that I need to see, because the offense is shocking to me what he did last.
But it's a reasonable question.
It's a reasonable question.
Okay. The next one, scoring title and being one of the 5 best defensive players.
Yeah, the scoring title one is going to be the hardest for me. These I'm most.
All right, so that's okay. So scoring title, we'll put a pin in it. You at least say that it's reasonable.
Yeah.
The overarching point here is he can be on a list with a bunch of different guys because he's such a unicorn. But Christine, we can go to the next list.
Yeah.
Quadruple doubles. It's only happened 4 times ever.
Oh, I think he will be the first player ever with multiple.
Exactly. Okay, so we're in complete agreement on that.
Yeah.
Does he have a shot at Hakeem's record for blocks? Mutombo is second, and he's 600 behind him.
Yeah, because the gap between Hakeem and Mutombo is like the gap between Mutombo and number 7.
Correct.
So I'm just going to try to do quick math in my head.
Because you didn't look at any of these ahead of time.
3,800 blocks. So you play. I'm going to say no. Hakeem on the show yesterday said he's the first guy ever that he thinks can beat his blocks record. But if he did 4 blocks a game for an 80-game, he would have to average 4 blocks a game for an 80-game season for 13 years. Fact check me on that math.
No, that's about right.
My math is always right. I'm going to say no to the blocks record.
Okay. I think he's going to finish either first or second.
But here's one of the blocks thing to me is so interesting, Danny, because I also think he is going to generate a new stat.
Diverted shots.
Yes,
I agree
aborted
completely.
shots that would have been, and again, maybe the synergy folks are like, no, we have that stat, and it just hasn't gotten to my brain yet. But I think he is going to, but not even altered shots. Shots that are not taken.
Not even attempted.
That would have been attempted against any other, like 98% of guys when they get to this spot on the court with the next closest player 7 feet away, take a shot, but they don't against Wemby. And listen, I think he has a chance to be the greatest defensive player ever, which is Hakeem Olajuwon or Bill Russell. And if he does that while averaging 25 a game, he's one of the 10 greatest players of all time.
And so that's what I think is just so fast. So we're like, that's a Kobe list and a Duncan list and an Hakeem list, like all melded into one player. Like we're going to see things on the basketball court. Like he'll miss a 3-pointer and have a tip slam dunk on a putback.
Well, what we saw last night is a version of that.
The block shot into the 4-point play.
Erasing a shot, like swallowing it up, and then a step back behind your back dribble into a 3. No, he's the only person ever that can do stuff like that. It's really unbelievable. And I don't know if, Christina, I know we have 20 seconds. If you can show my full screen of the best big men of the last 30 years. Here's what they did at Wemby's age.
Yeah, this is
They
good too.
all were top 4 MVP. They all made the finals. Now, those guys had better co-stars in Ralph Sampson, Penny, and David Robinson.
Well, let's see what Dylan Harper turns into, man. Because I know everyone loves Castle, and I do too. I've talked to people in the NBA who think Dylan Harper is going to be a stud.
Agreed. I don't know about as a rookie this year.
Neither do I.
But I also think because of Dylan Harper, what if you flip Fox for a real wingman?
Right.
No, the Spurs are legit. And Wemby, it's unbelievable what he did last night.
Unbelievable. It's one of the coolest things I've seen.
How are you going to deal with Michael Jordan ended up being the 4th greatest player ever?
Coming up next, Justin Herbert.
Kareem, Jordan off the medal stand?
Justin Herbert
off the medal
with a big
stand,
game tonight.
Jordan?
You just lost
Frenemies. Wow.
Welcome back. First things first, we got Willie Colon and Greg Jennings out here. We go to L.A. There was a game tonight. Chargers host the Vikings, coming off a tough loss to the Colts. It was 3 touchdowns, but 2 picks against the Colts for Justin Herbert. Still leads the league in passing through 7 weeks. They would be 5-3 with a win tonight. And so I'll just tell you guys my expectation for Justin Herbert. He needs a win any way, shape, or form. No doubt, Thursday night games are weird. But it's been a one-man show. Like the Chargers right now have 39 different starters have played this year. 39. It was 7 games. That's tied for the most in the NFL. They're 3rd in the league in drops. Their defense has allowed the 18th most points per game. Last year they were 1st. So the defense got worse, the injuries piled up, and the pass catchers are letting him down, and he still leads the league in passing. So I think he's been awesome, and he's going to need to continue to be for the Chargers to have any shot.
Yeah, he just has to be more. Like because there's a guy
much more.
Look, there's a guy in his same division that can say I've had to deal with the same things, and some way or another, Patrick Mahomes has always found a way to, now albeit great coaching, defense has been lock solid, but offensively, he's always been able to be just enough to where we believe in what they have on that side of the ball because of him. That's all we're asking for Justin Herbert to be.
All you're asking him to be is Patrick Mahomes?
What I'm saying is, you're saying it's been a one-man show. Well, Josh Allen has been a one-man show. Baker Mayfield this year is a one-man show. There's a lot of one-man shows that have, in my opinion, lesser ability and talent. He has a skill set that some would say is kind of unmatched.
Yeah.
You have to be more. I'm not going to continue to excuse what we know you're up against and what you know you're up against week in and week out. Just get it done.
Yeah, listen, from a performance standpoint, I expect him to check all the boxes. What I'm most concerned about is his durability. I got a graphic to show you right here, which is has me uh-oh.
Right.
Look at the pressures. 135. He's pressured the most in the NFL. Look at the hits he's taken thus far. 62. And when you talk about Justin Herbert and him,
30 more than Cam Ward is
34.
crazy.
He's been hitting 18 times more than any quarterback in the league. So when you talk about needing to do more, I'm not worried about him because he leads the league in passing. He's doing as much as he can. What I'm worried about, can he survive the season at this pace? And I understand the offensive line. You got Joe Alt coming back. There's some pieces coming back to help solidify the offensive line. But when you talk about what he needs to do, he needs to get the run game going because that's going to take the pressure off him. With everything going on with the Chargers, it's not him. It's the lack of protection in run game. And with Brian Flores, they're going to try to get after him. Only way to neutralize that is the run game.
Yeah, I mean, he got to get a win, though. I'm with you. The result of the game has to be a win, but I do think he is being asked to do so much with all these injuries around him. But we got a Steeler and a Packer out here. I'm very excited to talk about this matchup with you guys and what Aaron Rodgers had to say. The Packers are coming to Pittsburgh. Rodgers, of course, you'd expect him to be emotional about the reunion, but he had kind of a different answer. Take a listen.
Brett got traded, and then he went to one of the hated rivals. I was in New Jersey for a couple of years. I don't have any animosity toward the organization. Obviously, I wish that, things have been better in our last year there, but, I have a great relationship with a lot of people still in that organization. And this is not a revenge game for me. I'm just excited to see some of those guys and be on Sunday Night Football again.
So I do want to know if you expect Rodgers to bounce back, but also if you believe him.
So, believe it or not, I do believe him. I do believe what he's saying. Bounce back, he didn't have a terrible game. Let's start there. He didn't have a terrible game. Obviously, he threw the 2 picks, but one was kind of, great defensive play. But in terms of what he's saying, the further you are from something in an experience, the more time you have to reflect. And it's not in your face. What he's alluding to, Brett Favre being right there as a Minnesota Viking, having to play the Packers twice. Myself, I went through it. I had to play them twice. I'm so close, it was it was top of mind. He went to the Jets, got hurt, had to rehabilitate himself, had to even talk himself into, am I going to play again? And so now you're in a situation where you're in an organization that does it a great way, just like the Packers organization. You feel like you have a great opportunity in front of you. You're not necessarily feeling like you're on a lesser of a team. So all I have to do is just be what I've been for this team, and we will have a chance. But the competitor in him, he wants to win. He wants to outperform Jordan Love. That's all of us.
Yeah, we can swim in the dramatics about Aaron playing the Packers all we want, but I'm concerned about the defense, right? Because the last time we saw the Steelers on tape, Joe Flacco turned back the hands of time. Jamar Chase had 16 receptions. He looked like a cheat code. The Bengals ran for 142 yards. And I'm saying to myself, that was the worst rushing attack in the NFL, and that happened on prime time. So moving forward, I don't know what the Steeler brand is anymore as from a defensive standpoint, because that's supposed to be the backbone of the team. And right now, the explosive plays is what's killing the Steelers. You go back to week 1 against the Jets, Justin Fields had 11 explosive plays. You talk about the Seahawks had a shootout on their turf at home. So when I look at the Steelers right now, I'm not worried about what Aaron Rodgers is going to do versus the Packers. I'm worried about if the Steelers could stop the Packers, period.
I get it. That is like a very salient football point. I will swim in the dramatics then. Like, I wish this game was in Lambeau. I know it can't be. They should have petitioned the league to put it in Lambeau. And you're right. He will retire a Packer. His name will be in the Ring of Honor. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's an all-time legend, and that animosity is years removed. And he probably is thinking like, man, I had bad blood about the Packers for our last year, and then I went to the Jets, and I saw how bad it could really get.
Yes.
Right? So I'm sure time has healed a lot of those wounds. But you guys cannot tell me that when he lines up on that sideline and he looks across the Packers, and it's the one time in his career that he's going to get to play against he does not want to retire 0-1 against the Packers.
No. As a like I said, as a competitor,
it's extra though. I do feel like when the schedule came out, absolutely Sunday night football.
But everybody, I did it when I was a Jet and I played the Steelers. It took me till halftime to like get over it, right? Because I was so enamored. Like Greg can tell you, when you pledge your allegiance to a team and your identity is wrapped around a team that you thought you was going to retire with, it's hard looking at guys who you once called your brother and your family, and they're like, oh, they coming after me now. You know what I mean? It's just a different feeling. So I understand the emotions of it, but the Steelers have to win this game because next week they got the Colts. So you're talking about maybe three losses right now.
All right, well, so that's Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure I'm buying what he's selling. I cannot wait for you guys to hear what Tua had to say. Someone needs to coach this man on the media. All right, gentlemen, without further ado, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins on his attempts to throw to Jalen Waddle. Take a listen.
Some of it has to do with being able to see guys, with their guys also up front and our guys. And I'm not the tallest guy in the back there either. So being able to see, and then, sometimes when that happens, you don't want to just throw it blindly. You got to progress.
Why would he say that out loud? Not a rhetorical question. You got paid $200 million.
Yeah.
Why would you say you cannot see your receiver because you're just a little guy? Why would you say that?
Why did you just do little?
Because that's what he's admitting to. It's an insane thing to say on camera.
It's a bad look. And if I was an offensive lineman, I would simply go up to him like, man, it's a bad time for excuses. This is about accountability and efficiency. Because in 2003, when you were leading the league in passing and you had career highs in completions and everybody was clapping and cheering your name, you never once complained about you was too short to throw the football.
Come on, Greg. Come on, Greg.
This is an issue.
You can't do that.
You can't do it.
You can't do that. Like he's trying to be honest. He's being too honest.
We kill him for being honest, then we kill him when he is honest.
Look,
hire me to do your PR. That is bad advice.